Welcome. Now you're listening to The Asian Trio, the podcast where we share cultural differences regarding different topics each episode. This is your main host, Maria, who represents Korean culture.
Hello everyone, my name is Chanu and I'm from Malaysia.
This is Victoria and from Vietnam.
In today's episode, we're going to talk about dating cultures. So, Chanu, how's the dating culture in your country?
In Malaysia, dating culture is quite unique because of our multicultural society, including Malays, Chinese, and Indians. I would say because of this diversity, dating styles can be very different depending on cultures and religious background. For example, some people date freely, especially in cities, while others, particularly in more traditional or religious family, may date more concisely or only with long-term intentions. And family plays a very important role in relationships. Many young people consider their parents' opinions when choosing a partner, and approval from family can be a big factor too. In general, public displays of affections are more reserved compared to countries like Korea. You won't usually see couples be very physically expressed in public. So, Juan, what about Vietnam? Do couple in Vietnam always physically express in public?
Actually, in Vietnam, also the same with Malaysia. People are generally more reserved in showing affection in public. Holding hand is very common and totally normal, but anything more intimate, like hugging or kissing, maybe can attract attention from the other. People may look at it and feel a little uncomfortable, especially in more traditional places. So people prefer to keep their affection more private.
Um, yes, and people in Malaysia often meet their partners through schools, university, friends, or social media rather than blind dates. I would say dating apps are becoming more and more popular in Malaysia, but traditional ways of meeting are still very common in Malaysia. Also, relationship in Malaysia often develop slowly. People in Malaysia take time to get to know each other before becoming official. And there's usually a strong focus on emotional connection and stability too. Now I would like to pass to Victoria.
So at first, I want to share the most important in relationship that people usually discuss about that after their first date in Vietnam. Is it about money? On the first date, they most expected that the man pay for everything. Just like unspoken rule, the first date is quite important. So paying in a way to show effort and make a good impression. And for the later dates, it's become more flexible. Sometimes the man pays, sometimes the woman pays, but they may take turn in a more natural way. But if on the first date you suggest splitting the bill right away, it can feel a little bit unusual or distant. But based on what I have heard about Korea, feel like quite different. This bill or take turn is much more common there, even from the beginning. So I feel a little more clear and equal. Is this true in Korea?
So, one of my friends said that if someone pays thing in their first date, it might refer to as like, oh, I don't want to see you anymore, so I'm gonna pay the whole thing. Or I like you, so I'm gonna pay the whole thing. So it just depends on how people feel. But usually they split bills after like first dates or one person can like pay for the food and the other can pay for other like drinks or desserts. And if people have feelings for each other and decides to see each other, then they usually make a thing called dating bank account. So what dating bank account really is that after decided to date each other, they make this one bank account and use it while they're dating. So their whole spending while they're dating just comes from that bank account. So it might seem more equal. And as for like how people meet each other. It's also different, but usually they meet each other as a friend and build up their relationships into more serious ones. Or there's this Korean culture called meeting or 소개팅, especially in university. People gather each other's friends, or like 2 to 3 friends, and then make a room for them to like talk with each other and get to know more. And if they like each other, then they can exchange their numbers and continue to meet and grow into a more serious relationship. Splitting is like just a one-on-one meeting. So I can ask my friend, you want to meet my other friend? So do you want to know each other and like have a relationship? That kind of stuff. That's kind of common in Korea.
Yeah, I heard meeting
Um,
before, like 333, like 3 to 3 meeting before. Yeah, I heard that
oh
before.
really?
My Korean friend always like asking like, I don't want to go for meetings, something like that, like 3 boys, 3 girls.
Ah. Uh-huh. Have you?
No, I never been there before, but I just heard because they always like invite, like they always put on the Kakao group. But the students from different school, like maybe like boys are from Seoul there, like girls are from our school. They will like try to like know each other through meeting. Yeah.
Yeah. I've actually been to one of the like 303 meetings before with Seoul University, and I didn't really like the guy, but it's really a fun experience to have when you're in a freshman year.
Oh, really? Oh, you don't like the
Mhm.
guy? Because like my friend, they once they put the notice like notification on the Kakao Talk, and the girls
Mhm.
will look at the guy's school, if it's from like very good school like Seoul, maybe Yonsei, and they will like
Mhm.
quickly DM the one who post the message, and they will close down because already full. But if the boys are from like maybe not a good school, they were just like, oh, they don't want to go, something like that.
They care about the playground.
Oh yeah, they care about the background, definitely.
No, that's quite the opposite, you know? For especially for freshman year students, that's the opposite. Cause we have this kind of stereotype. Students from Seoul University, Yonsei or Korea University, they've been studying too hard that their social skills are not that good and they don't really have any relationship experiences. So it will be kind of hard to date them. Especially in my major, our seniors told us that having this meeting with Seoul University guys is not a good idea.
Oh really? Oh, I never heard before because my all the girls from my major, they always prefer Seoul Day or maybe Yonsei Day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, maybe SNU computer engineering. Oh my god, they will like definitely they will go for the meeting definitely.
They might like the background, their educational background in the beginning, but after having this meeting, they might change their mind. Because I did.
Watch out for all surprises. What it provides is good and bad, but nothing unties us.
Moving on, let's talk about real life experiences. Have you ever dated someone in your country? And if not, what about experiences outside your country? Have you met someone while you're studying in Korea or in any country?
Uh, yes, I have dated in Malaysia before, but I never dated a Korean girl, so I don't know much about them. But from my experience, relationship in Malaysia tend to develop quite slowly, and it's totally different from what we have in Korea. And Malaysia people usually take time to build trust and really understand each other before becoming serious. But in Korea, I would say like people like to push, like try to speed up the relationship. So it's totally different from Malaysia. Victoria, do you have any experience about like a dating?
Yeah, I have experience about dating with the man in my country and also another country. And I feel like from my own experience, everything I have shared actually pretty accurate, especially about paying on debt. But about the other aspect, I think it depends on the person. For my personally, I a bit different. About communication, I prefer more direct. I like to say clearly what I want and what I need in relationship before we start. I'm not really comfortable with expecting the other person to guess how I feel because honestly, I find it's kind of exhausting. And I don't want to be in a situation where I have to guess what the other person think either. So for me, a clear communication just make everything easier and healthier. I mean, guessing game not just really for me. How about you guys? Do you think people in your country are more direct or also expect their partner to understand without saying anything?
Oh my god, I would say Malaysian girl always like to expect their boyfriend know everything about them. They always like to expect their boyfriends to like give them something without saying anything. What about Korean?
True. That's kind of similar in Korea too. I don't think if it's just a stereotype for me, but I think that Korean girls are kind of picky. So they don't really express how they feel, but they want their boyfriends to know how they feel. For example, there's this really popular meme where the girlfriend says, "Oh, I'm hungry. I want to eat." Boyfriend goes like, "Well, what do you want to eat?" And the girlfriend goes like, "Well, I don't know. What do you want to eat?" And then the boyfriend goes, "Oh, how about pizza?" And then the girl goes, "Oh, it's gonna make me fat or something." And then he goes like, "Well, what about like chicken or what about kimchi jjigae?" And then she just goes on and on saying like, "No, I don't want that. I don't want that." So she doesn't really say what she wants. She's really being picky by like not deciding anything that the boyfriend suggested.
So how about you in a relationship? Do you feel easy to talk with your partner directly what you want?
For me, actually, I also feel kind of uncomfortable about like saying directly what I want because this is just my personal experience, but if I like someone, I want to show a better version of me, like the best version of me. And when I make a decision, I'm kind of afraid of what my boyfriend will gonna think about me and tend to say less than just ask him what he wants instead of what I want. So even though I don't like his like opinions or his decisions, I just go like, okay, I can just like go with it. So I'm kind of a more indirect person too, but I'm not like a person who says like I don't like this, I don't like that, but I don't know what I want. I'm not a person kind of like that. Today, we've talked about dating cultures in each other's countries and our own experiences. I hope to see you guys next episode. Please follow us through. Thank you for listening. This was The Asian Trio.